guys, I'm Danica and this is Couponing and Cooking with the Gabb.
Hello guys, I'm Damien, and this is Couponing and Cooking with the Gabb's Thanksgiving special. Today we're going to be making a Supreme Triple Chunk Brownie Mix by Betty Crocker. Let's get into this. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350. Now that we have our oven preheated, let's go on ahead and spray and dust our pan.
Now you don't want a whole lot of spray, and the spray that we're using is a butter spray. You can use whatever kind you want, or you have canola or something to that effect. That's good for baking. If you have vegetable, I say go light. I'm not a big fan of vegetable oil in general. If you have canola, that will be really good, but butter is just fine. And then the flour that Damien is using is just regular all-purpose flour. It doesn't have to be a specific brand or anything to that effect, but all-purpose is the best. And you're just going to sprinkle the bottom of the pan very lightly. And then you're going to knock it around. Now this is just so that it does not stick when you get ready to take your brownies out of the pan to serve. Okay, so now you're just going to just shake the bottom and knock it around a bit to coat the bottom, the entire bottom, so that once again it does not stick.
And we are done, thanks to Mom. She helped me out with the pan.
Yep, just make sure that it's coated everywhere and you knock it around like you mean it. You can see the flour on my hands, but you just knock it around so that it's like this little smooth layer on the bottom. If you put too much, make sure you dump it into the sink and pat the bottom to knock it on out of there, or else the bottom of your brownies are going to be white and they're also going to be gummy. So make sure that you have it as smooth as you possibly can. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start mixing.
Alright guys, now we're going to put our brownie mix in the pot. I'm gonna pour this on in here, and then we need 1 egg, 1/4 I believe stick of butter, and 1/3 of a cup of milk. I might have gotten those backwards, I'm not sure. So we got our brownie mix in there. Now we're going to get our egg.
So what we're doing is just go ahead and put your brownie mix in your bowl. You're going to add 1 egg. We're going to add 1/4 of a cup of milk. We're going to omit the water. We're not going to do it traditionally as stated on the box. We always substitute our water for milk and oil for butter. It makes it more rich if you do it that way. And this is Thanksgiving, and this is festive and holiday, so we're going to make sure that it's rich. So once you put in your milk and your egg, make sure you put in your butter. Now, we have pre-melted the butter, and that is because we had a technical difficulty. You can go ahead and share.
It's this whole stick of the butter. This whole stick right here.
That equals 5 1/3 of a cup of butter. So we had a technical difficulty where our hand mixer went out at just happened to go out now. So to just fix it regardless, we just melted it in the microwave, so that way we're not just trying to get the butter incorporated evenly into our brownie, and it's not painful. We'll just say it that way. So if you're gonna microwave your butter, what you need to do is make sure that your butter is brought back down to room temperature. Once you nuke it, you go ahead and just let it sit there for a while. Do not put hot butter into your brownies. It's going to completely annihilate them.
So now we're going to stir.
So if you have a hand mixer, go ahead and put it on medium speed. and beat it until it is completely smooth and everything is incorporated. Now, if you're doing it by hand, then yeah, you really have to make sure that you have your butter and your egg and everything incorporated very nicely, and it still comes out smooth. It's a little bit more painful this way, but circumstances being, that's what that is.
Come on now, come on, won't you come with me? Time to let it go and be free. Won't you come and breathe the open skies? Come now, come listen to the melody.
And even if you're using a hand mixer or a stand mixer or by hand, always scrape your sides down to make sure that you do have all of your brownie mix incorporated together. And make sure you scrape that bottom too. And that's for any of the devices that you're using. Always scrape. You can stop it midway, scrape, and then start it up again until it's smooth. But do not over mix it, because that's gonna make it a tough texture. So just mix it to the point that it's completely incorporated.
Alright, now we're going to pour it into our pan. Alright guys, now what we're going to have to do is smooth out the brownies to make it even on the edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little thing right here and move it to the sides.
A little bit louder.
And
Louder.
get everything even and stuff. Get it all even on the sides and such. And what you can also do, so we can just do this. And we can also shake it.
Now, when you are shaking it, what you're doing is just spreading it out a little more even, so that you don't have brownies on one side that are higher than the others, and then that also will take toll on the cooking process. And then dropping it, and it's the same for your cakes. When you drop it slightly, you don't have to bang it to death, but when you drop it, what that does is take out the air bubbles. That brings them to the top and takes them out, so that you don't have nooks and crannies down inside of your brownies or your cake. It's the same thing.
And now that we have those in the oven, we're going to let them cook for about 25 minutes, and then we will be back. Alright guys, what we're going to do now is, now that we got them out on the cooling rack, we're going to check and see if they're done by sticking this thing in there.
So we take the toothpick and we just stick it directly into the middle or around the sides. Now, it's not going to come out clean as if a cake would. Brownies are more dense than a cake. So you just need to stick it in just one time, and then just test it to see if it's either gummy, like brownies should be, or you're going to have batter on your toothpick, which means put them back. They're not done.
Alright guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to let them cool, then we're going to ice them and put sprinkles on them, and then we'll be done.
Okay guys, our brownies are nice and cool to the touch now completely. So now we're going to go ahead and ice and decorate. So we are going to be using the Betty Crocker, the whipped milk chocolate for these. And these are triple chunks, so they have like little chocolate chunks already in them. So we're going to do a decent layer of icing on top. Okay, so I'm just going to take a butter knife and I'm going to whip this up. Because when it comes in a container like this, it's whipped, but it's best to go ahead and just stir it around a little bit yourself. As you can see, I'm just stirring it in the container so that it'll be a little bit more smooth and easier to ice. Okay, so now we're just gonna take our little ladle thing, paddle, that's what you call this thing. And we're gonna scoop the icing out of the container and put it right on the brownies. And usually, well, this is actually a double recipe. Because of the size of the pan, we did have to go ahead and do a double recipe. So we're gonna use the entire frosting container. So now we're just going to smooth it out and make sure you guys do get your edges. Don't forget about the edges. So it'll look really nice. And then you can also, if you like make a mistake or something, get a washcloth or a dish towel clean and just a little cold water or a little, maybe actually a little warm water. That's better. And clean up your sides like around here if you wanted to, if you're entertaining with this. But this is just a really basic brownie. So we're just going to go ahead and smooth it all around. So even though we did do a double recipe because of the length of the pan, I'm not going to do double icing because that's a little bit much, especially if you're going to decorate it. But that's all depends on you. If you like a lot of icing, then by all means put more. But this should suffice right here. And then you just make it really, really smooth if you're going to decorate the top of it. Okay, so now Damien's going to go ahead and decorate it.
So this is the Kroger sugar toppings in the color red. And there's also these cupcake gems right here.
And those are actually found on clearance, so kind of semi-couponed. I paid, I think, 9 or 19 cents for those a while back, so I just kept them, and we're using them now.
Some clear sugar crystals right here. And last but not least, some pearls. And that's about it.
Okay, so now they're all decorated. Damien wanted to do kind of sort of a Christmas theme. He did the white pearls, those are actually sixlets, and then the silver, red, and white. Those are like the little granulated sugar crystals that you can just buy in the store. So this is going to turn out really, really well when we get ready to eat this for Thanksgiving tomorrow, because it does have the chocolate chips in there that kind of melted around in there during the cooking process. And then we already sprayed and greased the pan, so they should come out very, very easily. So that's pretty much going to be it. Okay, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and happy cooking and couponing with love. Bye.